The next standard is on addition and subtraction. Students have been working on addition and subtraction since they started school. This year in fourth grade, students are to solidify this information and become fluent using the standard algorithm. So I'm going to go through the standard algorithm, and if your child has a good grasp on addition and subtraction using the standard algorithm that I'm about to go through, then you won't need to watch the second part of this video. The second part is going to be for those students who are still struggling to understand and be able to add and subtract large numbers. They're going to have to be able to add and subtract fluently to the millions place. So the first one, and these are some of the vocabulary words they need to know. They need to know sum is the answer to addition, difference is the answer to subtraction. So 7 plus 2 is 9, and you can see we've once again taking it back to place value, and we have our place values lined up. Many times students will mess up and not put them in the correct place. 8 plus 9 is 17, so that would be 17 tens. So we would put our 7 there and carry that 1 to the hundreds place. Then we have 700s plus 300s, which would be 10 hundreds, plus another 100, which would be 1100s. So we can put our 1 here and then carry that to our thousands place. 5 plus 1 is 6. And 6 plus 6 is 12, so now we have 12,000. So we'll put our 2 in the thousands place and carry the 1 to the 10,000s. 9 plus 4 is 13, plus 1 more is 14. And we'll carry the 1 to the 100,000s. 100,000 plus 200,000 plus 100,000 would be 900,000. Then they would need to put their comma in there and go back to that very first standard, making sure that they can read the number. And we're going to start with the first period, 942,179. Okay, then subtraction. A lot of times kids will do pretty good with the addition, finding the sums, but finding the difference, they're struggling. Okay, sorry about that. So when we're subtracting, we're going to start in the ones place, and 5 ones minus 2 ones will be 3 ones. Once again, going back to place value, we cannot take 5 tens away from 2 tens, so we're going to go over here and we're going to borrow. We're going to borrow 100, and we know if we bring that over, we know this place is 10 times more. So if we bring it back over here, that's going to be 10. So if we borrow 1 from, we will no longer have 600, we will have 500. And then the 1 that we borrowed will actually become, if we change that from 100 into 10, it's worth 10 tens. And then we already have 2 tens here. So 10 tens plus 2 tens would be 12 tens. And then 12 tens minus 5 tens is 7 tens. And then once again, we see in the hundreds place, we have another issue. We cannot take 600s away from 500s. But we can borrow 1,000 and say, okay, we no longer have 4,000, we have 3,000. But that 1,000 that we took away, we're just changing that 1,000 is the same thing as 10 hundreds. Okay, so we're changing it into 10 hundreds. Well, we see that there's already 500s there. So 10 hundreds plus 500s is 1,500s. Now we can do 15 minus 6, which would be 900. Once again, we have another issue. We want to keep going back to our base 10. We're going to borrow from the 10,000s now. And if we take 1 away from the 10,000s place, we no longer have 8 10,000s. We will now have 7 10,000s. That 10,000 that we took away from 8 70,000 to make it 70,000, that 110,000 is going to equal 10,000. So we are going to, the one that we took away, which is actually worth 10 in the thousands place, we already have a 3 there. So 10 plus the 3 already there would be 13. And 13 minus 9, 13,000 minus 9,000 is 4,000. We see we have the 4 in the thousands place. Now 7 10,000s or 70,000 minus 70,000 is 0 10,000s. And then we go to the 100,000s place, and 700,000 minus 300,000 is 400,000. And don't forget to put our comma and go back to that very first standard and make sure that your student can read this number, which is 404,973. Now that's the way that we expect your student to be able to do this. This is what we're wanting. But we know that there are lots of students that make it to the 4th grade and they're still struggling to add proficiently, correctly, accurately, fluently, and definitely they struggle with subtraction. So if your child is doing well and they have the standard algorithm, you don't need to listen any further. But if you notice that your child is struggling to add or subtract fluently by the time they're in the 4th grade, we know that there are some issues. There's some problems that they're having, and it probably goes right back to the base 10 system. We need for students to be able to understand that numbers are, you can look at numbers in a different way. We want them to be able to see them and express them in different ways. Here's a couple of methods I'm going to show you that I will work with your child, trying to get them to understand the concepts without just memorizing steps. If they just memorize steps and they don't understand why, then that's when we have issues. So here's one way. You can see this number. We have 3,432 plus 942. So I have, in one color, red, I have the ones place. We're going to start with the ones. We see 7 ones plus 2 ones is 9 ones. So we're just going to break it down into place value. Okay, then the next one is blue. We're going to go down to the next line, and we're going to say this is 3 10s plus 4 10s, which equals 7 10s. And 7 10s, the standard way to write that is 70. So we're going to put that down right here. Then 400s, the 4's in the hundreds place, the 9 is in the hundreds place. 400s plus 900s is 1300s. Or another way to say that is 1,300. So we're going to write 1,300. Notice that we're lining up our ones, our tens, our hundreds the whole way. And then the last one, we have 3,000 plus nothing. And the standard form to write that is 3,000. And write that out. Okay? We can also show them that if they are working using that place value system, they can even go the opposite way. They can say 3,000 plus nothing is 3,000. 400 plus 900 is 1,300, or 1,300. 3 tens plus 4 tens is 70 tens. And 7 ones plus 2 ones is 9 ones. And you'll get the same answer. So if you are using just basic place value and you're doing partial add-ins, you can do it this way and get the correct answer. Okay, so if your child is really struggling, we're going to take them way back to that place value, making sure they understand. And then as in doing this, we can see, oh, we can just put the 9 in the ones place. And here we can just put the 7 in the tens place because 9 and 0 is 0. And then on this one, we can put the 3 in the hundreds place, and then since that's 1,000, we'll carry it over to the 1,000. And then when you add that 3 and that 1, you'll get the 4. Okay, so we'll work them from this one to the standard.